Hello everyone. Now this is an AM radio and we are tuning the frequency 630 kHz for Bangladesh Betar. Now let us hear some vintage music from it. Okay, now are you listening? Yes, now this is going on, an advertisement. Now we shall see some magic. What kind of magic? Well, now let's see this. Wow, where did the sound go? Well, we used a frequency jammer, our very own frequency jammer that we made for our university project. Now we are going to demonstrate this AM jammer for you guys. Now the working principle of this AM jammer is actually very simple. I am leaving the cumbersome theory to you guys. I am just stating the basic principles. To jam a specific frequency, we have generated and transmitted a carrier wave of same frequency but with higher energy. This higher energy carrier will suppress the amplitude modulated signal of the AM radio. So the receiver cannot receive the signal transmitted from the station, rather it responds to our high energy carrier. We have generated the carrier using a Colpitts Oscillator. Here it is. Now you can see the circuit and you can calculate the necessary capacitance and inductance for generating the frequency of 630 kHz using this formula. You know that you have to transmit a carrier wave of 630 kHz, so you can calculate the necessary components using these formulas and other stuff. Now let us focus on the antenna. So we are using a loop antenna and you can see the structure. This is a square, you can see a kind of square, okay. Now this is 1 foot by 1 foot and we are using some insulated copper wire to make the loops. Now as you can see, we have used several loops, and if you want to know how to calculate this, you can go to this link which will provide you how to understand that how many loops you need for the structure. And we are using the antenna so that we can get higher range and some variation. Now let's focus how the antenna works or the range of our antenna. Now let's see. Wow, a nice music. Now let's see if our jammer works. Wow. Yes, the jammer is working, and now we see the range as we take it further and further from our jammer. Okay, now we are placing it here and let's see if the range is really correct. Now let's focus on the power source. Yes, now we are turning it off. Now on. And again off. Yes, the jammer is working perfectly. Now let's focus on the effect of the orientation of our antenna, how it is working. So you can see the radio is working and our jammer is working. Now, if we rotate the antenna, we can see that some sound is returning, and when the antenna is revolved exactly 90 degrees, the sound is completely back. So we can see that the antenna works only when it is aligned with the AM wave, but not when it is revolved in 90-degree angle. And again we are turning it back and aligning it with the AM radio, and yes, we can see the effect of the angle. Last time we were checking a relatively small frequency, that is 630 kHz. Now we will generate a relatively higher frequency, that is 8 MHz. Now you can see here this is the oscillator circuit from where we are generating a carrier wave of 8 MHz. We are using a crystal oscillator for this purpose. And as you can see in the oscilloscope, this is the output. And this is relatively small, but we know that to jam a frequency, we have to produce a higher powered frequency and carrier wave. So we are using an amplifier circuit that is here. And now if we check the output, and you can see there is an output of a higher amplitude, and this is not sine wave, it has some higher harmonics. So we were using an 8 MHz oscillator circuit, but now we are using an amplifier to increase the amplitude, and as you can see, this is the output frequency. As you can see on the screen, we are showing the oscillator circuit and the amplifier circuit. We are using this loop antenna for 8 MHz oscillator circuit, and as you can see, we have built it in a different way. And so you can do it in this way as well. All you have to do is make a loop, and this is a higher frequency, so we have used a small number of loops of insulated copper wires, that is the number of 3, and that's it. And we can use this circuit to jam an FM radio. That is, we can jam 88 MHz or 88.4 MHz, etc. And you can do this at home. But remember that this is only a fun project. We made it for our university project.